Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here, my YouTube channel. My name is Danny Day, and I come from VMware, partner readiness team, APJ. So today is July 12th, 2023. So I'm gonna be a creator of YouTube. So just as you know, and I work for a lot of network companies and for so many years in the network industry. So I try to build my YouTube channel with a lot of network knowledge, telecommunication knowledge, and also some of the IT programming related things. So thank you so much for watching this a series of tutorial about NSX 4.0. I used to be a product specialist for NSX. So a couple years ago, I think 3 years ago rather, I recorded a series of videos about NSX 3.0, and I posted it onto Bilibili, which is a Chinese video website. So this year, there's an opportunity, a request from our VMware partners. They want me to teach them some of the new NSX knowledge about NSX 4.0, especially for the VCP certification of VCP-nv 2023. So looks like there's a chance to refresh our whole series. So just right now I'm planning and also started a new series about talking about NSX 4.0. So I'm gonna break it down to several 20 or 30 episodes. So just try to give you very detailed knowledge about, or kind of like all-in-one tutorial about NSX, because we have a lot our many customers. We have partners, and they are interested in VMware network product, especially for NSX, a new NSX 4.0. So just give them a good place to learn. So we just everything is rolling, and let's dive right in. So here in this episode, it's kind of like chapter 0. I want to show you and guide you through the whole certification of VCP-nv, and give you some of the blueprints about this certification. So I think I'm planning that how am I organizing all of the series of the videos. There's a clue. I try to organize them based on the certification or exam blueprints. So not only Is it a very detailed tutorial for the beginner, for the advanced learners? But this also is a exam guide for the candidates to pass the exam. So here's the agenda. So as I said, just to break it down to different aspects of the NSS. For example, we're gonna talk about components, infrastructure, switching, routing, and special NSS services, which is traditional, the network services, NAT, VRF, IPv6, DHCP sort of things, VPN, those kind of traditional, very commonly used services, network services we're gonna cover. And also we're going to talk about federation. Federation is a multi-site solution for an enterprise to install and deploy a multi data center, deploy the network for multiple data centers. For example, DR for uses for DR sort of things. So we also cover security. This is not only does it cover DFW, distributed firewall, and also talk about IDPS and also NTA, ATP, malware prevention sort of things, NTR. And also we're gonna talk about some of the miscellaneous like back and some of the CLI you are commonly used for troubleshooting. Those kind of things we're gonna cover in the next videos. And when it comes to exam and certification, we have to finish required training. You can pick one of the training before you take this exam. For example, you can pick NSX 4.0, 3.2. Those kind of, they are a lot of training you can select. This is required, one mandatory path you have to go through for taking the exam or getting the certification. For exam itself, there are 2 exams now in July 2027. So this is a new one, 2V0-4123, which is for NSX 4.x. So as everybody knows, the duration is more than 2 hours, 135 minutes, and the number of the question is 70. You have to get over 300 scores to pass the exam, the whole exam. So this is a VCP-nv exam. And also we have a relatively old exam, which is 2V0-41.20, which is related to NSX 2.0. So that just remind you that this exam will expire this month, July 31st, 2023. So if you want to take this exam, you have to be quick and finish taking exam this month. Otherwise, you have to take the first exam, which is related to NSX 4.0. So for this series of tutorial, we focus on NSX 4.0, which is the latest one now we have. So for achieving or passing those exams successfully, you have to go through or checking out some of the learning resources. Very important tool is this official guide. It's a blueprint. One is for new exam, one is for NSX 3.0 old exam. This is the only official guide for the exam. So it's a pretty essential for you to go through. And non-official, I should say, there's a good material you can follow. This is right here. I think this is a learner just summarize some of the learning points and wrote them down, but just break it down to every aspect, every question, every point, and give you a specific URL, and you can follow and you can refer to kind of like go through every aspect of the exam points. And here is also another important material, which is documentation. So here at VMware website. So I think this documentation is pretty organized well. A group by the release 4.0 or 3.0 and 3.1, 3.2. So they're pretty organized pretty well. And also sometimes or many times you should see the release note to see the or just compare a different feature with a previous version. So it's a release note. And the reference guide is a pretty good one for you to learn, especially for you to design an NSX network for our customers. Before you install and deploy the whole system, you have to refer to this reference guide. It covers all aspects of NSX, for example, designing, performance, sizing, even some rare situation was rare features they already covered. And also some of the training course, as I previously mentioned, you can, in those training courses, there are some of the hands-on lab inside of it, so you can practice your hands-on experience. You can just a little bit get your hand dirty and familiarize yourself with a lot of configuration process and procedures, and give you some real experience. And also try to master some of the CLI, commonly used CLI for especially for troubleshooting or some exam questions. Sometimes there are some questions in the exam that mention sort of some specific CLI commands. Okay, so for the next part, I'm just gonna guide you through the VCP exam blueprint, which is related to 4.0, is related to the new exam. I'm going to go through every aspect, every point of this on the exam. So just kind of like give you a little bit touch on for everyone, so you can know how I organize the whole series of the tutorials. Here we go. So here we have a new certification blueprint. So here you can see this certification, it's just exam guide, just broken down to the different sections, 1, 2, 3, 4. For section 2 is the biggest one for us to go through and to follow. And the section 3 is the plan and design solution. And the section 4 is the process of procedure for installation, configuration, administration. Section 5, troubleshooting, those kind of things. So now here we have the section 2, which is the VMware solution. We're talking about NSX, what an NSX is, NSX product portfolio, and also talking about components and architecture. For example, there are some of the components, management plan, and the control plan and data plan. We'll get into that a little bit later. And then for next, we have a management cluster, because we have to deploy 3 manager to be a whole cluster for production usage. And also we'll talk about the policy UI and the manager UI. As a learner, you're just focusing on the policy UI, which is commonly used here nowadays. So object 2.4, sorry, just demonstrate the data plan. What is data plan and some of the pretty important relevant terms which you need to own distinctive to VMware. For example, transport zone, transport node, DDS and DDS. Those are concepts and terms that we have to go through. And object 2.5, which is we're talking about a logical switching. So it's like layer 2 switching. We're talking about some of the important tables for packet forwarding layer 2 table. You can imagine that MAC table and some of the important tables we're gonna get into, and also some of the traffic and the features, for example, suppression. And also we're gonna cover the segment and segment profile. What segment is? Segment is like subnet. There are 2 types of segment. One is a VLAN based segment, one is overlay based segment. So we kind of like put two into the one term, which is segment. So it's just different from the one we commonly use subnet. Onwards, we have a logical routing. In here, we're talking about router, T1, T0 router, and also talk about edge and edge cluster. Edge is a container where a T1, T0 router sitting on. And also we're talking about it. Yeah, right here we are talking about dynamic protocol and T1, T0. Some of the protocol, routing protocol that they support. ECMP, those kind of things, so pretty typical. And later on, we're talking about VRF Lite. It's a pretty small feature, but in the exam, we have opportunity to encounter this question. Moving on to bridging, so NSS can be as a bridge between different segments, overlay segments, and a traditional VLAN segment. So also we're gonna go into the security part. So we're gonna talk about distributed firewall, which is for east-west traffic control. We also talk about gateway firewall, which is north-south traffic control. And also we're talking about a little bit further for IDS, IPS, for some malware prevention and detection. Then we're gonna show you the NSX application platform according to NAPP or NAPP they call it. So for NAPP, we're talking about malware prevention and intelligence, NTA, ATP, and the NDR campaign sort of things. So how we relay some of the security events to discrete events into a combined instance for customer to grab and catch. And also talking about NAT, we have stateful, NAT we have stateless, NAT. So it's gonna cover this and also teach you how to configure NAT. And also cover DHCP and DNS and load balancers can also will be covered in the later chapters. NSX4.0, formerly known as RV, but you can call it RV because VMware acquired this load balancer. So we just put the RV into NSX product portfolio. So I think from an exam perspective, we don't have too many questions on the NSX4.0. Just give it a little bit touch on this. Also talking about IPsec, L2 VPN, and some of the miscellaneous content for like RBAC, account, and authorization and accounting authentication sort of things. So that's it for objective 2. So those are all of the feature and terms and the functions the NSX has. And the section 4, which is a process in focusing on the installation and procedure for how to configure some of the functions. Yeah. And the last one is troubleshoot and optimize solution. For example, there's a troubleshooting in your there's a trouble in your network. How do you grab log? How do you generate log and upload the log onto the VMware tag or GSS team? And how to use some of the common used CLI to quickly troubleshoot and also give you a clue on what's happening inside of an NSX. So that's everything about this exam. And our tutorials are focusing on all of this and also organized according to this structure. So hope you love it, and also give me some of the feedback. Just put it in the comment below, and I'll improve it later. And so until next time, take care. Bye.